Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the call. All right, so let me get this ready. All right, so I was trying to figure out what to talk about tonight. I wasn't sure what I was going to be talking about. In fact, honestly, I had something a completely different message scheduled for this evening. And today, me and my husband and a group of other people, it's called Hikers for Jesus. We went on a hike, and on our journey back is when this training actually came to mind. Okay, so I've decided to name my training for tonight. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Okay, let's see. All right. So this right here, as I was walking the trail, it reminded me of our journey to SVP. It can be exhausting, difficult, and challenging so many times along the way. But at the same time, it can be absolutely rewarding. We all start off as an IBO and hopefully transition to a CQ, ETL, RC, RD, and beyond, all the way to SVP for some people, right? Unfortunately, many people will not make it on this journey with you. However, understand that their journey is not your journey. And you need to understand why you're doing this business and not let anything or anyone take you off course. Let me let somebody in real quick. Okay. All right. So as we start, many times we can be excited, nervous, anxious, and it can absolutely work for us or against us, depending on the person. I've seen an excited person change from a fearful person almost overnight. And unfortunately, they never even made it to a CQ. So I've also seen other people who came in as an IBO, and despite their fearfulness, they moved so quickly to RD that I thought they were going to be unstoppable. So understand that we all go through the same compensation plan and journey, but some of us may get there quicker than others. So don't ever compare yourself to those people who may move from beyond you to beside you to past you and begin to doubt your abilities or yourself. So on the left side, as I was continuing to walk on our trail back today, back to the car, me and my husband, we actually went half point because I wanted to make sure I came back in time so I could prepare for tonight's call. I noticed that on one side of the trail, the dirt was soft and a lot more difficult to walk on. My feet actually sank into the dirt and I had to work harder to lift my feet to move forward. So kind of like, you guys ever been to the beach and you kind of have to struggle a little bit to go from moving to the beach, that type of thing. But I also noticed on the other side of the trail, the dirt was solid and hard, and walking on it seemed so much easier to move forward. So this is when the analogy crossed my mind, and I decided that I would speak tonight about what I'm talking about and tie all this together based on my hike today. You see, I can relate the right side of the trail, which was smooth, solid, and easy to walk on, as doing ACN the right way. For example, talking to people about being a customer, we've already know that the secret to success in most situations is to ask for a favor or to ask for help, to try our service and share your why. It's been proven time and time again, despite what our minds tell us. Another powerful tool is reciprocity. And that's giving with no expectation, but also understanding the value of making an impact and the laws of reciprocity and or reaping and sowing. So I actually have a great story that just happened with my husband the other day. So there's this gentleman that he's known for several years, and he has a wine business. And years ago, even before the pandemic, he tried to get the merchant account business going. Unfortunately, during that time, it was one of the busier times of the season. So he was referred to somebody else to work with him regarding the merchant account business. So my husband kept following up with this gentleman over and over and over again. And the gentleman never called my husband back. So my husband decided to reach out to the owner of the wine business again, and he made contact with him just recently. And then he made a trip out there, and he made sure to have a gift in hand when he met with him the other day, and took him some tamales and some freeze-dried candy and fruit. But more importantly, my husband listened to the gentleman from previous conversation and asked how he was doing after the loss of his mother. which he remembered that was what was happening at the time that they were talking. The gentleman felt a lot of value from Chris doing that. And by the time my husband left, he submitted the merchant account business for that company. And we actually are looking to acquire the gas company, the gas services of that company, as well as his home, as well as another family member that lives on his property. Why? Because he added value. And he went with reciprocity, but not with the intent, like you have to do this. So always go out to make a friend by being a friend first. This reminds me of a story that of a gal, and I may have shared this before, that this gal at the gym was telling me that she liked a specific gym here locally. She said that the girls in the front desk were not very nice. They weren't friendly or outgoing, but they were rude and obnoxious. The interesting thing was, I actually recall going several times with my husband, and they always seemed friendly and nice and social to him. The difference was that my husband always goes to be friends and to add value. And because of that, those same girls that my friend thought were rude and they were actually nice and gracious to us. Because why? Because he went to be a friend first. That's why. On the left side of the hike and the trail, unfortunately, we lead with savings. We sound more like a salesperson than anything. Sometimes it works, but more times it doesn't. We sometimes add pressure and make people feel bad about them not supporting us in our business because we make it about us and not about our reason or asking for the favor. On the right side of the trail, we make personal development a priority. We make sure that we are on the 9 a.m. calls as much as we possibly can. And personal development becomes part of who we are. Our whole mindset starts to shift and we start to think differently. In fact, when we used to gossip and complain about certain things, it starts to bother us. And now when we hear our friends and other people do that, we might start doing something a little like this. Let me let somebody in real quick. But did you die? Did you die? Right? Right? You know, like that one smart, it's like, what's the worst? Did you die? Okay, but we also might start noticing those same friends don't come around as much. And when those times that we might stumble across someone new who brings all their drama and issues and complains and gossips, we kind of feel a little bit like this afterwards, and when we get caught up in it. No. So you might feel a little dirty, right? All right, so let's go. That's a little funny. All right, so let's go back here. Okay, so on the left side of our trail, we only get on the 9 a.m. calls when we remember, or if we say we have time to. We might buy a book or borrow a book or listen to an audio. That's only if we have nothing better to do. Maybe when we're sitting in the doctor's office once a year, we might bring that book in the waiting room to browse through it. Every issue turns into a tiny molehill, turns into a huge mountain, and we look for others to complain to about all these issues that we're encountering in the business or in our life in general. We even start to notice that on the trail that we're on, the footprints were going actually the opposite direction from the beginning. Now we start to understand why everyone may be going the opposite direction. We don't understand how so many people could be wrong, that perhaps this journey was not meant for us. And we start to contemplate whether we should turn around and follow those footprints back to the very beginning. So, but you understand that this business is a business and you treat it like a business and you put in the time and attention and master the skills necessary so you can be successful. So you decide to master your peak. So I'm going to share some information from a training that I'm actually taking that will help you create an introduction or your peak. Okay, so if you guys can't, maybe take a picture of this or whatever. This is a personalized introduction cheat sheet. So it should be comprised of your problem, the solution, and a question. So I'm going to just kind of read through this. So reminder, your personalized intro is not meant to sell them. Its sole purpose is to engage them in a two-way conversation. It can be used after your problem statement if you cold call at a networking event, or even if someone asks you what you do. This powerful introduction lets your prospects know how what you do helps other people. So here's the problem. You will start with the phrase, you know how, and then you will add on 2 or 3 generic problems that your solution solves. These are problems that you know the person you are talking to can identify with. Remember, you are a problem finder and a problem solver, not a product pusher. Your job is to find and discover what problems they have, what caused them, and how it's affecting them. So basically, you can take a screenshot of this and then list those problems. But let's go through number 2, the solution. Now you're going to go over how what you do helps other people. The key here is to keep it very simple. Do not get technical at all, or you will end up sounding like a salesperson trying to sell them something. This is just meant to create curiosity in their mind to want to engage in the conversation. You will start with this phrase, well, what I do is help people, companies like that. And then you will continue with how you solve those 2 or 3 problems you just mentioned to them. Remember to keep this short. Your entire personalized intro should never be longer than 2 small paragraphs at the most. So now moving on to the question, number 3. Immediately after your personalized intro, you want to ask a question to put the focus back on your prospect and off of you. You do this to start exploring what problems they might have to see if you can help them. It is very important here that you do not jump into your solution. We love what we do, and we all think our products or services are the best. So we become anxious to tell our prospects how great we are. Slow down and realize that you must come across as a problem finder and problem solver rather than a product pusher, or most of the time you will be met by resistance from your potential customers. So caution, the personalized intro is not meant to sell them. It's just meant to get them curious enough to want to engage in a two-way conversation about potential problems they may have. This allows the prospect to open up to you and start the process of trust because they feel from your questions that you are there to help them rather than to sell them, okay? So here's an example for network marketing. So network marketing, here we go. Do you know how a lot of people nowadays are finding it harder to get by with the lack of job security, corporate downsizing, and the higher cost of living? Well, what I do is help people that set up their own full or part-time businesses from home so they can start taking care of themselves and their families again. What do you do for a living yourself? Okay, so that goes through the whole example. They even give scenarios for all kinds of different things, but that's a great scenario right there because it's specialized to us, right? All right, so let's go back to the slides. So back on your trail towards success, you have mastered your peak now, right? You have an accountability partner or mentor who holds you accountable. More importantly, helps you understand how to help you when you get stuck in the pipeline. You see, once you may master your peak and you're able to exchange contact numbers with the potential prospect, perhaps you may be having problems with getting them to attend an event. So as you grow through your pipeline, you will find areas that you might not be getting the results that you would like. And this is where you would go to your mentor or your coach or your upline to help you problem solve to figure out what you might be able to do differently. It could be how you're saying it, or maybe perhaps not the follow through or your tonality. There could be so many different dynamics to why this could be occurring. And unless you have someone looking outside the fishbowl to help you through your problem areas, you may continue to be just like the hamster on the wheel, feeling like you're going nowhere real fast. We don't want to be like the hamster on the wheel, right? No, that's no fun at all, okay? So back on the left side, you talk way too much. You ever see seagulls? blah, 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 blah. There's no sound there, but basically just imagine blah, 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 blah. That's what you sound like just talk, 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 right? We don't want to be like them. Okay, so let me skip that. Okay, you don't go to your upline, or you don't have an accountability partner, or you don't use your mentor. You try to solve everything yourself, and you blame others, the company, and everyone else for the problems and issues that you may be encountering. You make yourself the deal when it comes to presenting the business, and don't use anyone else to close out your presentation. Back on the right side of the trail, it's getting a little difficult. You're having to push yourself and use all your strength to move forward at times, right? But you think, if I can just focus on the next corner, maybe I can get there. One corner at a time, focusing on each step taken to get you to that focused corner you have in front of you. Along the way, you notice people jumping beside you to encourage you and empower you, people who share some of their own struggles, but how they were able to accomplish and overcome the same struggles that you have dealt with. And you are able to keep moving forward, feeling a little bit more refreshed and renewed. And as you get closer to the top of the hill to hit your next goal, you have people reaching out to grab you by the hand, to guide you and help you to step forward and move you to the top of the position you're about to reach to. And so finally, you make your set destination, and you are able to experience all the beauty, glory, and splendor you have worked so hard to achieve. It's not something that words could ever express to you, but something you had to personally go through yourself to be able to experience the feeling and the thrill of accomplishing something that you said you would do. You're able to now show others the way by sharing your own personal experiences, your struggles and challenges along the way, but still empowering them to let them know that if it's possible, because you were able to reach the top and hit your goal, so can they. And that is it for tonight, guys. Super simple, super short, super sweet. That's it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the information tonight. It was very, very simple and basic. This business is super basic anyways. We all know that. We know what to do. But I just wanted to share from our personal journey today. Those last pictures were actually all pictures of our hikes that we had done in the past year and a half of our journeys. Beautiful views that we experienced by going through it, sweating and dying, sometimes feeling like we were going to die, but it was worth it. It was actually worth it. And the same thing with the business. It will be worth it when you get to the top of hitting that peak and that valley of where you're going to. So thank you guys so much. I know it's shorter than 6:30, but hey, you guys got the rest of the evening to go make some goals happen, okay? And set some goals for yourself. So take care and God bless. Take care, everyone.